Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. And there's a lot of zeros and even numbers in today's show because it is show number 200.
100. Can you believe it? 200 shows.
I really can't. It's rather impressive.
I'm excited about it, actually.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of things to do to give back to the viewers and listeners who have allowed 200 shows to happen. We're going to have some Day 4 regulars that are going to jump on the show. We're going to bloviate, we're going to educate, and tell them about the giveaway right off the hopper, Frank.
Okay, so some lucky viewer or listener is going to have a chance to win a $500 shopping spree on LureNet. We're going to give it away at the end of the show today. So stay with us because it's 500 big ones.
And what we're going to do is, if you have a relevant comment, congratulatory, what are words of what are positive words called? Not congratulatory words. There's a word for that, like
positive words.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll do the random thing. We'll give it away at the end. And then you can just send me an email and then we'll send it to LureNet. And it's just a code. And then, over on the old LureNet.com, 500 bones. Also, what we're going to do later in the show in the second half, I think that I have the capability of doing this. I'm going to put the direct live link for StreamYard in the description of the YouTube channel. If you want to jump on and congratulate Frank, ask a question, bloviate, do whatever you want to do, you'll be able to do that in the second half of the show. But
that'll be fun.
That's what we've got going on. Now, I feel like on the eve of show 200, you celebrated with was that your biggest bass of 2025, Frank?
Yes, so far. Yes. The irony of it is that I got one over 6 on a Signature Series Fat Boy. I think it was the first Signature Series released. I don't even remember the name of it. But I took that little pony out for a walk and it paid off.
There it is right there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There's the bait in the bass's mouth and you can see
it's a fatty.
Now, you didn't put that fish on a scale, but that
no.
Dude, that is every bit of 6 pounds.
Yeah, it was giant. And earlier, like 5 minutes earlier, I had one come up in short strike at the side of the boat. Not quite as big, but pretty close. As I was lifting the lure out of the water, it freaking got it.
Did you make were you like make an excited face or anything?
Yeah.
As soon as it lifted out, was it like, whoa, look at that.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Like you're reeling the bait out of the water and the fish jumps up and you go, whoa, look at that.
Oh, God almighty. Look at, dude, come on now. I was a chick magnet back then. Come on. I know exactly who sent that picture and we're going to have words.
What is that? What are the patches there that we can't make out there, Frank?
True Turn for sure.
Oh, that's your tournament jersey.
That's a True Turn, and I don't know what the bottom one is. I have no idea.
It looks like some sort of. Does that look like a prop or some sort of fly thing?
It could be a Hydromotive. It could be a Hydromotive logo. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, you can both see us in this. Should we just keep this picture up for the entire show to celebrate number 200?
Look at the head of hair I had.
Yeah. You have no control. I mean, I could keep it up there all show.
You could, and then I could just
anytime something exciting happens. Whoa!
Whoa! But I mean, this spring has been really funky for me because I'm kind of on big fish quests lately.
Yeah.
And I've been able to accomplish that. 2 weeks ago, I had a 23, 24 pound bag. after I made some adjustments, I literally fished 3.5 hours with I caught four in 3.5 hours, and none of them were over 2 pounds. And I made some adjustments and then put like 38 in the boat and had, my biggest five were 23, and then I had probably two 19s on top of that.
Holy
Um,
smoke.
yeah, it's been good. Honestly, yesterday was a lot of hit and miss. Um, Flooded conditions changed. I thought it was going to be really easy. I chose the lake on purpose because I knew the water would be high. I knew I would have plenty of flipping opportunities, and really, I said to myself, it's going to be a piece of cake. I'm going to get a square bill, three flipping sticks, and a spinner bait and a chatterbait, and I'm going to absolutely maul them. And it didn't go down quite that way. I caught a few, but I didn't set the world on fire, and I couldn't. I spent 11 hours on the lake yesterday, and I couldn't unlock it, which was very frustrating to me. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't think things lined up well. I think there were some fish coming off beds, a lot of fish going on beds, and the water was filthy, and so I couldn't see the betters to catch them. And so there was a lot of random, a lot of random pitching going on, and I wound up, ironically enough, I wound up breaking the lake down three ways. I don't even know why I'm telling you this because I failed, but
No,
but
you didn't. You
I
called the biggest fish of the year.
yeah, that's true. Um, so I broke the lake down three ways. At first, the first thing I did was attack where they're going to spawn, picking the flats, you know, creek pockets with all kinds of flooded brush, willows, trees, because the water was into the woods almost. And so what I had found was that I couldn't get back far enough, not because the water depth wasn't there, just because everything was grown up in the mouths of these things, and
Mhm.
I couldn't penetrate the willows. So that was problematic. So I did the best I could, and I figured I would catch a lot of edge fish because they were pulling water like crazy. Water was dropping. I figured I could catch a lot of edge fish on the edges of the brush and all the stuff. And I literally I caught three, and I couldn't get any more going doing that. So then I wound up taken near offshore, near offshore. So pre-spawn staging areas like shallow rocky points that were leading into these places, rock piles connected to the main bank, stuff like that, um, to no avail. And I think the problem with that was the water was so muddy. I saw a lot of fish moving on live scope, but they were moving. Nothing was really sitting still. A lot of bait fish, lot of carp. The carp were doing the muddy water dance everywhere. And water temperatures were like right at 63 to 65 ish by the end of the
Mhm.
day. And so,
Now let me ask you this: do they spawn earlier up north, like cooler water temperatures up north than say like Oklahoma does?
yeah,
Like you get fish that move up in mid 50s, low
yeah,
50s, whereas Oklahoma, that southern part, like it seems to be a little bit, that 60 is the magic number, 58,
yeah,
60.
yeah. I've seen them spawning here in 54, 55 degree water temperature.
Okay.
So here's what sets the spawn going here. Um, if you have a 6 to 8 degree jump in water temperature in a week in the springtime,
They're gone.
it'll put fish on the beds, even if the water temperature is 55
So
degrees.
you had some post spawn fish, you had some spawn fish. There were still probably a couple pre spawn fish. You
Oh
had
yeah,
you had flooded conditions that got up in the bushes. Then it started
drop it.
dropping. So you had a bunch of stuff going on. So
Yeah,
it's similar to what's going on in Oklahoma right now, which is just a pile of rain, and a lot of the lakes are super high and stuff. And it's that time of the year we have pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn with changing conditions, dropping water now as it stabilizes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those periods, I think, Frank, where you kind of have to maybe prepare yourself, regardless of who you are and where you're going and what lake you're fishing on, that it may be a little in between time, and you have to take advantage of your opportunities. It's not just going to be a cast, catch, count, and mount.
No, cast, catch, count, and mount. I love that, dude. No,
You haven't heard
not.
that one before?
No, I never heard that one before.
I've been waiting to use that one for when I catch them in an open, and someone says, what's your game plan for the final day? And I just say cast, catch, count, and mount. And then I just turn around, get in the boat,
drop the mic, and walk away.
put the game face on, quote unquote. Yeah.
That's priceless. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, it was difficult. I was very disappointed. I put a lot of pressure on myself, to be honest with you, because I don't accept failure, because I don't care what time of year it is. I don't care what lake you're on. There's always somebody going, "Isn't this the greatest lake in the world?"
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't accept it. So it was really difficult, and so I did so many different things and tried so many different areas of the lake. I even went to the steep and deep stuff, because the steeper the bank, the bass can't get away from you, because
Mhm.
the bank's steep, so the water can't go into the flat woods. It's got to be, it's bank related. So I said, well, I got to go fish the steep and deep stuff, typical stuff, blowdowns, rocky slides and stuff like that. And my phone rings, and I'm like, who the hell's calling me now? And I look down, and it's Rachel, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Because I'm like, is everything okay? She goes, where are you? I go, I'm still on the lake. She goes, it's 6:30. I go, oh yeah, you're gonna have to eat without me. I said, I'm not done here. So, you know what I mean? So I was kind of surprised the day blew by faster than anything. It just flew.
Yeah, I mean, we had that exact same conditions. I fished with my buddy Austin at a local jackpot, not the Shawnee Twin. I'm going to go fish that by myself tonight. I think we can put a boat in on that lake. It's really high right now, but high water on a lake that hasn't had the high water on it, off color, 65-degree temps, water in the bushes, some fish on the beds, clearly some fish post spawn, and a lot of floaters that were very tempting to try to, a lot of swimming fish, a lot of floaters on forward facing that were very tempting to try to fish. And we had to, hunker down and grind.
But you guys did good.
Yeah, we ended up getting second. We had 3 for, I think, either 1040 or 1090, something like that. We had a 540, a 4, and a keeper. But it was you could tell, like, there were bass. You could tell that there were bass that just, they weren't going to eat, not our stuff. They just were not going to eat. They were grumpy. They were in a bad attitude. Like, we call them zombie bass, to where they were done. They were out there and they just wanted to be left the hell alone. And you could tell, like, when you put a bait on them over and over, they would be like, okay. And they would, like, just swim off out into the abyss. But I mean, I think there is some time where they're just not going to bite your stuff.
Yeah, I think there's times when it legitimately gets tough, but it's up to you to try to find the percentages, the higher percentage bites, which is what I thought I was doing, with the square bill and the chatterbait and the spinnerbait. I thought I was. I mean, I caught some flipping, some on the spinnerbait, and the big one came on the Fat Boy, the Norman Fat Boy. But
all right, do want to remind everybody in the comment section at the end of today's show, Pradco, the folks over at LureNet and LureNet.com are giving away a $500 no strings attached shopping spree on LureNet in celebration of show number 200. So at the end of the show, Frank, we'll do the scroll thing. You'll say stop, and whoever it is as long as it's a coherent comment. Like if it's a spam, trust me, we've done this before. If it's a spam comment, if you're just putting letters, numbers, it's not a well thought out comment, we will redraw.
That's right. It will be redone.
All right, so let's get to some of our day for guests, and it would be criminal if we didn't bring in the man who started this whole day 4 deal, straight from the shop and founder of Bass Talk Live, the one and only Mark Jeffries.
Frank.
Dude, what's up?
Frank.
Long time no see.
Oh man, did you tell Matt about what we did?
We have not had a great chance to talk because since you got back, I was on the road, then I almost totaled my truck, then I fished last night. So we've had a lot of things going on, but I know that was on, like Frank started to tell about your trip and I said, oh, it's showtime. And I just cut him off and then we went live. So
yeah, it was definitely top 3 trips I've ever been on. It was insane, especially day 2.
Do not mention any bodies of water.
No, I fine-tuned my flipping game and my chatterbait game. Did I not?
Flick shake, dude. What about the flick shake?
And the flick shake. Never thrown a flick shake in my life.
It's a wacky worm, Mark. And Frank's done 6 shows on flick shaking.
I just never threw it, but I'm going to throw it more now, especially with the shad spawn coming up.
So we're 200 shows in here, and day 4 with Frank Scalish is a staple in the bass fishing community now, hitting on all 3s of the entertain, educate, and engage. But I want you to go back to when you first decided to get Frank on as a regular guest on Bass Talk Live, why you picked Frank, and then what led to hey, do you want to do this once a week?
It kind of started with many of the discussions that you and I had, Matt, about trying to always stay ahead of what everybody else was doing. And, I was racking my brain, and the subject of buffalo came up in one of our conversations. And it got me thinking about one of the many Elite Series that we covered, the Buffalo event. Prior to the Buffalo event, I actually got to go out with Frank, and Frank gave me my first experience on Lake Erie. And I was like, man, the whole badass rap that he had with
OSI.
with OSI and just Frank's personality. I thought, let's see what Frank's doing. And I hadn't talked to Frank. It had been a while.
This was a while.
It had been quite some time. And I called Frank and we talked a little bit. I said, hey, man, I'm doing this. What do you think about coming on? And I mean, I'm old. I don't remember the first time that you were on BTL. I do know that it was back at the like second studio that we had. And it went a little long, and we reflected on a lot of different situations and experiences on the Elite Series. And I remember when that show was complete and Matt and I kind of talked, and I obviously the wheels were going, and I thought, man, Frank would be a great addition to what we're trying to accomplish. And I wanted to expand to 4 days. And Matt was like, oh, geez, 4 days? You got to be kidding me. And then I called Frank up and I said, man, I got this idea. Let's do this thing called Day 4. And we were the only, at the time, we were the only show that was doing shows 3 days of the week. And I said, look, it'll give us an edge if we do 4 and make it more educational and take all the experience that Frank's had in his past and present and try to pass that along and make it different than what everybody else was doing.
Yeah, because I remember the one show that we did. It wasn't a day 4. It was just because I had guessed.
Yeah, it was the Glacial Deposit show that blew
Right.
everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
That show to me was the instrumental one. I think.
Yeah. So let's go back to the very beginning, and I have queued up from 4 years ago, Bass Talk Live, day 4 with Frank Scalish, number 1.
Go,
Oh,
And I
wow.
think I've got the audio on here. I have no idea what exactly how it started, but we're gonna see it. So we'll see. So there it is right there. We should have audio. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, of course Mark was the manager of that. Let's just get past.
So,
Scalish, Frank, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Matt. You all right in Tulsa? Everything okay, man?
Everything's phenomenal. This is probably going to be
Everything was
the
not okay.
educational series of BTLs that we've ever had.
I think you're right. Absolutely. Now,
We're
before we
sitting
get
back and listening to Frank.
High expectations. I love it.
that's right. All right. Now, before we get into the fishing stuff, the task at hand is this, Frank. The Browns are in the playoffs,
This was a long time ago.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
but they don't have a coach.
We don't have a coach. We're out a couple of players. It's typical.
Is simply because of Frank's willingness to donate his time to educate and really entertain and engage the fans here on BTL. But we could not do this if it wasn't for the support from LureNet. And I can't thank all the staff at LureNet. Obviously, Frank's involved with.
Anyway.
How about the original Deep We Are underneath the boat? Tournament trail was
That was the start of day 4.
At what date was that show? What year?
That show was
Holy
aired number 1 aired on January 7th, 2021.
Wow.
The first day 4 with Frank Scalish featured an in-depth discussion on the A-Rig, the Flash Mob Jr., and there are some great questions from the fans. So enjoy the first of many shows with Frank.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm still in disbelief. I honestly can't believe we've been doing this for 4 years. It just seems like yesterday.
Wow. And think about, hey, Matt, think about the knowledge that the BTL viewers have gained from 4 years of Frank. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of guys out there that try to teach and educate and do things, but nobody really does it like Frank. Nobody.
I totally agree.
Well, you know what the truth of the matter is that it's all from personal experience. I'm not making stuff up. If I don't experience it, I can't talk about it knowledgeably. If you ever go to a public speaking event, whether it's about any sport in the world, it doesn't matter what it is, or about business, it doesn't matter. If the speaker doesn't intimately know the subject matter, the speech falls flat. People stop listening, people stop paying attention. So I made a point to always speak the truth from what I've experienced, okay? Which is exactly why, like Matt, back in when you kept talking about live scope, and I didn't have it, I had to get it. You know what I mean? I had to get it because in order for me to intelligently speak on it, I have to learn it, know it, and be good at it, or I can't talk about it. So, I'm probably the biggest student of the game, not so much as far as to be honest with you, not so much as far as watching all the tournament events and seeing who's doing what, when, and where. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm technique specific. I want to learn all the techniques. I want to master them. And so that's that's how I spent most of my life, to be honest with you, is that. And so when I talk about it, it's just natural because I just, I know it because I've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
Well
read
done.
these and talk at the same.
Oh, I'm just doing a whole ton. The best one, I starred one. Kyle Collins said, "I sleep with day 4 reruns playing so I can absorb it subconsciously."
That's like playing Mozart in the womb.
Yeah. There's a bunch of great comments on here, but all right. Do we want to bring in some other guests today as well too? Let's kick it off with the man who has been a staple, fresh off of a very solid finish in the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic in Wabasha, Minnesota, and smart enough to know he should have put his phone horizontal. Is- there he is.
We're good.
Frank Scalish Jr. Frankie, thanks for jumping on day 4, number 200.
Oh man, nowhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah, I know a place you'd rather be.
Oh, you cut it out right now. Cut it out right now. I literally just got my boat. I just picked it up right now. Like there she is.
Oh, very nice. A
Yeah, I
brand brand new Phoenix there.
Yeah, the 721
Do you
CXL.
remember when your pops and Mark started day 4 on Bass Zone Junior?
Yes, of course
Did you
I
think-
do. I
Did you
remember
think
the
it was
first.
going to last 200 shows?
I didn't.
I have no good answer to that. I have no idea what to expect from that. I just knew it was something cool and that it was probably, knowing my dad, it was probably going to just keep going. when he called me and said Mark wants me back on every Thursday.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
Continue telling the story. I just wanted to see if this would work as a.
You
as a
gotta
true
add
center.
in. You gotta add in a little bubble that says "pow." or
Pow. Yeah.
Something.
or
But
forget
no,
about it.
I mean,
The
it
day
was such a,
Frank discovered the Carolina rig.
oh man,
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's wild.
that's
That's too funny.
Anyway, sorry. Back to your story.
But yeah, no, I remember sitting there watching it for the first time, going, "How have I never found this before?" And I mean, the real answer was I was hardly ever on YouTube until he told me he was going to do this, and then that kind of opened my eyes to the whole world of podcasts and everything. And here we are, 200 episodes later, and I almost never miss a Thursday.
Yeah, which is crazy because you could just call me.
I know, right? I talk to you on the phone more than I talk to anybody else,
Yeah, it's true. I
Yeah.
agree.
for sure.
Frank, I have a question for you. When I initially ran this by you, what were you thinking, man? I can't do this, or hey, this brings life to something that is my life. I mean, what were your initial thoughts when I ran it by you?
To be honest with you, after I had guested in on a couple of episodes, I thought it would be the coolest thing ever. I was totally 100% all in on it. I thought it was a great, I thought it was a great advantage, and a good opportunity. And I didn't have, I didn't have any doubts about it. You know what I mean? The thing that I was more concerned about was, could we make it work? That was the biggest concern I had. But then between you and Matt, you guys made it easy, real easy.
Had you ever, what was your level of experience as far as teaching, seminars, educational stuff before day 4? Like, had you done a bunch of that, or had you been a guy who was kind of like, I don't know, you kind of seem like a guy who's like, figure it out yourself, damn it.
That's what I would tell my competitors.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't have to worry too much, but the reality of it is, I read a book one time on public speaking, and they said if the average public speaker, does 6 public speeches a year, if you want to get 2 years experience, do 12 that year. And so what I wound up doing was all the local sports shows and stuff, I signed up for as many seminars as I could possibly do. So in a matter of, 2 years, I got like 6 years experience
Wow.
public speaking. And then when I started fishing Bassmasters, we didn't have social media. So everything we had to do was either radio, TV, or print. And so I went on a mission for exposure, basically, because my advertising background, I knew I needed exposure numbers to get the sponsor dollars. So I started doing live radio and stuff like that as much as I could possibly do it. Funny story is I had a radio show in Cincinnati, called me up to come down and do a morning show with them. So in fact, I brought Frankie with me when you were a little kid. And so I went to the radio station. I drove to Cincinnati, went to the station, and I get there, and this is no lie. The guy goes, "Okay, here's your script." And I went, "No." He goes, "You have to have a script." And I said, "No." I said, I'm not doing it. We're getting ready to go live, and I refuse the paper this guy gave me. 100% refuse it. And I just told him, I said, "You talk, you ask questions. This show's going to go without a glitch." And the guy was freaking out. And then sure enough, we did it, and it went as smooth as silk. And he was like, he goes, "Nobody comes in here and does this." So I had experience. The weird thing about the podcast is I'm sitting here, basically by myself. That was the weirdest part of it. But because you guys are on the screen, now I look at, like, when I do the show, I'm always looking at Matt.
And I'm always looking at a computer screen, which drives
Right,
people nuts. But I'm
100%.
trying to monitor. It's like herding cats over here.
100%. So I'm looking at Matt, and I'm going, "Why aren't you paying attention to me?"
I know I need to get a camera that's right here, but that would require knowledge of how to do that.
Yeah, well, keep it simple. But yeah, so I mean, it was great. It was fun. It still is. To me, it's still not old. I look forward to it, actually. And again, Mark, I mean, I've known you since I started fishing Bassmasters. To be very honest with you, when it was the three of us doing them, it was very exciting. And now that it's Matt and I doing them, I think there's a chemistry on, one-on-one. You can develop a really good chemistry. With three people, I think you fight for chemistry. Not that you're fighting for it, but you fight for that chemistry. So on some days when the three of us did it, you and I would be like on target. And then some of the days Matt and I would be on target. Some of the days you two would be on target. And it's a fight for dynamic on the show, I think. With one-on-one, it's like when you two did do Bass Talk Live originally, it was always you two.
Yeah, but we needed a third because all we did was scream at each other for an hour.
I know, but you had
the third one. Once Drew retired, it just divulged into a yelling match.
Well, but that was the dynamic, right? That was the dynamic, the back and forth dynamic. It's much easier to do that one-on-one than multiples. Like, can you imagine if we were doing this with 4 screens up every day?
No,
every week?
that's tough.
We'd always be bouncing, and it would be sometimes it would be hard to follow a thought. I see other podcasts with multiple people, and sometimes the thought gets away. And then it takes somebody to try to bring it back in to play. So this is a unique podcast. Like, I'm not a podcast junkie, but I watch some of them, and I've been asked to do a bunch of them. This podcast here is insanely unique. It's just spot on. I mean, it's just 100% spot on, this podcast.
Mhm.
It means a lot to me. It grew to mean a ton to me over the last 4 years.
Frank, let me ask you this, because in so many other sports, professional sports, even some college sports, it seems like a lot of the players that are popular with the fans are players that the fans can relate to.
100%.
Okay. I mean, I know some of the players that I've followed over the years, there was a connection because you could actually relate. Some of the players, they're just out of their mind and they're egomaniacs, and it want nothing to do with them. But what are your thoughts on the success of day 4? Has a lot to do with, I think, the fans truly relate to you and what you do and what you have done. And I think that is a huge factor in the success of day 4. What are your thoughts?
Well, we
We
keep
just need a
it.
T-shirt that says, "What are your thoughts?"
Yeah. Uh-oh, I see merch coming down the pipe.
No, it's that open end. What do I always tell you,
You
man?
agree or disagree? Yes or no?
Don't leave.
Am I
a
wrong?
Ugh.
And we're going back to the original format.
No,
What are your thoughts on that?
add to it, Frank. Add to it, man.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're relatable, your fan base you become part of a family. If they hate your guts, they're not watching it. So you hope they don't. And look, nobody can please everybody all the time. That's just the nature of life. But at the end of the day, we keep it entertaining. We keep it knowledgeable. Talk the truth, not bull crap, because there's a lot of BS out there, not bull crap. And Frankie could attest to this. Is this not me every day?
It's 100%. It's 100% you every day. That's why it works. When something's authentic, look, people get fed BS every day of their life. They go on YouTube, it's filled with BS. So when you find something authentic, that's usually why it's at the top of the chart or the top of the game, or that person is super popular. We all fish, we all know, you know what I mean? So this is like every conversation we have on the phone is the way you talk about fishing on here is the way we talk about fishing on the phone.
You have to cut off like half of my conversations with Frank because I just say I want to have it for the first time on day 4. Like, I don't want to hear about your day on the water. I don't want to know how you caught him. I want you to save that for the show so it's live, so it's authentic, so you can talk, But I mean, I also think the element of you've got a couple stories, man.
Oh yeah,
You've got a couple stories, and they get better each time. And they're 4 years old. And I mean, the 3.5 pounder in the bush is a 3 3/4 the next time. And then the next year, it might have been a 4 pounder in the bush. And then by God, you had a 6 pound. But I mean, that's part of it also, is your ability to tell stories is unparalleled while not losing the educational aspect of it.
Yeah, it's about teaching. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's the thing about you, Dad, is it's the way you see everything. It's the way you think about everything. You're different. I don't see and think about things the way you do. My brain doesn't work the way you do. It's so unique how you see things in the water, the way your mind processes information. And I think a lot of that is you grew up in a time where you had to actually figure everything out. You didn't have any tools. You didn't have very many tools to help you. So for me, I get a little jealous sometimes. I'm like, man, how do you even think of things that way? For me, it's more like a process map, not, if not this, then that. You know what I mean?
Right. It's weird because every bass boat I ever owned had a compass on it. And I spent money on a good compass.
I remember those.
Like the real ones.
Were they expensive back then?
Nowhere near what we paid today for electronics. But I mean, $100, couple $100, you can get a good compass. and I had to, because finding offshore stuff is a lot easier when you could take a compass reading and you know that if you're at this bearing and you go 30 degrees this way and you run it in a straight line, you're going to run over that rock pile, or you're going to run over that river channel edge. And that's how we had to do it back then. So, and here, look, okay, so I'm going to make a topographical reference. Okay. And this is for you, Junior, too, mostly for you. Topographical maps are the real topographical maps are 7.5 minute geological survey maps. And so you have these geological maps, and they take the measurements of terrain, especially if they're going to build stuff there, do stuff. They take it's all mapped out. It's all a terrain map. The military uses them like crazy in every exercise they do militarily, because you have to know how to read a topographical map in order to plan your routes through the woods to get to point A to point B. Okay, so I don't have military experience, but when I see a topographical map, it's not a flat piece of paper to me. I see it three-dimensionally for some effed up reason. I look at the map and I know what it is. I see it 3D. And so I can really easily look at a map and go here, 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 and here, without a problem. And so what happens is, like with the 2D sonar, I remember I had a guy in the boat with me who fished, and I didn't have side imaging at the time, no forward facing, just 2D sonar, my compass, whatever. And I was working an edge line, and I would go up the edge line and then back down it, up it, back down it, up it, back down it. And basically what I was looking for is for it to swing. I knew it was going to hook somewhere, and I needed to find the hook. And so the only way you could do that is you go up the brake, and then you turn around, go down the brake, up the brake, down the brake, until it's all of a sudden it starts to take longer for it to break down. And then you're coming into that turn because you're on the long part. The guy in the boat with me had a bass boat. He fished, and he looked at my graph, and he goes, "Man, this whole thing is all up and down." And I'm like, "No, it's not. I'm doing that by how I'm driving the boat up and down the brake to find this stuff." And so the whole thing is, over the course of years, like I say on this show, Matt says it, Mark says it, everyone says it. There's no experience like time on the water. Time on the water is what you, as an angler, is what you need. You have to have that time on the water, because that makes your subconscious train of thought moving in the right direction, following a pattern, seeing a change. If the wind's blowing and the water's off color, and you're whacking them on spinner baits on the windy sides of everything, and then all of a sudden the wind shifts, the lake goes flat, the bass change their behavior, but you'll recognize it first, because all of a sudden you're not getting as many bites on the spinner bait. And so, but only time on the water is going to say, this pattern's slowing down, this pattern's changing. And then you could adapt while it's changing. And only time on the water can do that for you.
Yeah.
Well
Wow,
said.
that was a long bloviation.
Yeah. All right.
It's one of your many skills.
Matt, I have a quick question for Junior. Have you ever seen your dad crack under pressure?
No.
I can't imagine. The dude
No.
handles pressure
Yeah. No.
so well.
That
Yeah,
is
so-
not true. That is not true.
Well,
It may not turn
Matt,
That
I
is
out.
know.
not true.
Matt, don't do it. I know where you're going.
Is this jet skis?
Yep.
Because the man cracks at just the mere mention of the word jet ski.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a crack. I would say
It's a gaping hole.
a temporary deviation.
Hey, Mark, did you hear what we gave away last week
No.
for the best question we gave away the winner gets to live in Frank's extra bedroom for up to 1 month, with Frank taking them to all of his secret fishing spots, and then they also get to go on a tandem jet ski adventure with Frank. He will let you steer the jet ski.
Wasn't it a tour of the Lake Erie Islands in tandem?
Yeah.
Again, this is not
And
true.
the winner decides who gets to sit in the front or the back of the jet ski.
No. Hey, quick funny story about what took place. It was a week ago. All right. Now you have to understand that, I'm a big dude, 6'4". I take up a lot of space in the boat, and I was up on the front deck of Frank's boat, and he only had 2 rods out. That was it.
We had 3. No, we had 2. We had a chatterbait and a flipping stick.
Yeah, we only had 2 rods out. But he goes, "Hey, Mark, jump up here." And I was kind of on the back, and I was just kind of doing my own thing. He goes, "Hey, man, jump up here." And I jumped up there, and when I turned to the left, my left foot came this close to stepping on one of his rods.
That's about
I've
it.
never
About
seen
it. 2
Frank-
inches for.
Dude,
Well, no,
I've
that's
never
less than
seen
2.
Frank's-
Well, it depends on how you measure inches. But how big do you think that is, Mark?
What, that right there?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I
It
say
was
that's
close.
2 inches. So
It
that's
was
2
close.
from stepping on Frank's rod for our iTunes listeners. That's all. I'm just trying to establish a distance for our
Dude.
iTunes listeners. That's it.
I caught myself, and I just kind of looked back at Frank, and you would have thought that I was crushing the most valuable rod in the fishing industry, and I got that look. Dude, I made sure the entire rest of the day I was like this far from the rod.
That's because you're so agile. And here's what I don't understand. I don't understand how you can bowl 300. You can be a 2 or 3 handicapper in golf. You can be exceptionally have a soft touch on the basketball court, but you are a hulking beast on the front deck of a bass boat.
I
Like,
am. I don't know why.
if there was an EA Sports fishing edition, like your agility rating would be a 0.
That'd be 5.
Like you would have a 10 on the Alabama or the Carolina rig fishing, like would be like a 95, but your boat agility would be your lowest attribute. And I don't understand why, because for such a hulking man that just bends at the waist with straight knees sometimes, like you have soft touch in all these other individual sports. I mean,
know.
it's a backhanded compliment, to be honest with you, but I have noticed that. Did you notice that, Frank? Like, I mean, the guy can put it 3 rails on a cheetah pattern, whatever, into the pocket and backspin it 80 yards, 5 feet from the cup. You get him on a bass boat, and he's like a drunk man doing a square dance.
Yeah, I noticed something of that, somewhat of that. Few times I'm on the edge, and
That was before the dead leg.
But it was so funny because every time that we switched really the side of the boat that we were focusing on, you'd see Frank pick up his 2 rods and move them over to the other
Oh
side.
yeah, oh yeah,
He does that out of courtesy. He does it to me too. It's okay.
yeah.
Oh.
It's so we have room, so you're not trying to do the dance over the rods.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
funny though.
It
What was that flurry we had at the end of the day though? What was it, like 20 in a row or
Oh
something?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
lake was that on again, Mark?
No,
No.
not gonna say.
Nope.
Not gonna say.
No. So yeah, hey, you know what, dude? Pull. Is Troy out? Is Troy in
Yeah,
there?
it's Troy. He doesn't have his video engaged right now. We'll
All
see
right.
if Troy has his video, if he can engage his video. There he
If
is, right there.
he
Come on,
Is that
Troy.
who
Get
Troy?
in here.
I would like to. Well, no, it's a mystery person who sent me that. It's a mystery person who sent me the picture.
It's no damn mystery. I know exactly who sent it.
Troy,
You should see the VHSs he has, Matt.
Troy wins the award for the most bayonets on the show.
Yep.
in BTL history.
You found all those, didn't you?
Not those, no. Yeah, so I figured, I had that picture that we took on Erie with his flowing mane looking
Yeah.
over his shoulder back in the day. And so I thought for the 200th episode in honor, I'd think,
It's
my gift to the show.
Did you
It's-
take this, Troy?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
But you really took it. Like, what
Oh,
was
yeah.
what was a young, fully haired Frank Scalish like in the early Derby days?
He was very similar to the way he is now. I mean, everybody, the theme is, how genuine he is, and what you see is what you get. And that, I mean, we literally have been sharing a boat. I'm trying to, since 1980.
yeah.
And we get together now, and it's the same as it was when Reagan was president or whoever was president back then. I mean, it literally, he is who he is. I disagree with Frankie about seeing him crack, because we have a lot of good times in the boat. And it's funny because we'll be fishing and, maybe I might be up by a couple of fish, and then he starts kind of unwinding and unraveling a little bit. And then it's funny because he's always like, he's like, man, he goes, dude, you're so competitive. You're so competitive. And I'm like, all I'm doing is catching more fish. I'm not competitive. But then he usually, by the end, it's funny because we'll go on, one of us will go on a run, we'll go up 10 fish or something. And then almost always by the end of the day, we're dead even, or over the course of a week, we're dead even. But
Yeah, because it's so funny because back in the day, before Jersey Shore was a Jersey Shore thing. So back in the day, Troy and I used to journal every single fish we caught.
Like at the time
Yeah, we
in a
we had-
sonnet?
listen to this. We carried for a while. We carried a dictaphone, a little
record.
Excuse me?
dictaphone. Hey, is that any crazier than having 17 cameras mounted on your boat everywhere? I mean, and we didn't have we couldn't hit a waypoint.
You would be like 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, rock pile.
Yeah, we'd be
overcast conditions, 3.5 pounder
Yeah.
Carolina rig.
yeah, 100%. And then we kept these these
Notebooks.
notebooks, and then we would journal it. You would when you're out in the middle of the lake. Remember, you talk about triangulating stuff out in the middle of the lake, with no GPS. So you're out there and you're you line up the red house with the tall chimney and and so we kept a dictaphone with us, and we'd come home and then we'd journal this stuff out. That's why we were so amazing back then. And now it's just you can't.
Do you
you
still
watch
keep a
YouTube
journal,
videos
Frank?
and buy some electronics, and everybody's out there doing everything. So
Do you
still
that was
keep
the
it,
days back
Frank?
then.
You keep notes still, Frank?
No,
Yeah.
there's no need because I'll label stuff in my GPS now. I found Troy. I found 5 of the notebooks.
Oh, it's
I-
crazy.
I
yeah,
have them.
I've got some stashed in a drawer with my old maps and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. And we were lunatics, dude.
Well,
We would literally. I saw one day. This is no bullshit. I saw one day on Lake Norman where we literally were catching a fish a minute.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I went through the journal and I'm like, 709, 710, 712, 713, 714. It was I was like, holy smokes, man. And so I went through and counted the day. We caught 100 and something fish
Yeah.
between the two.
Sounds like you cooked those books.
Yeah. No. No, it's true. And then the funny thing is a lot of the stuff has changed from back then to my recent returns to Lake Norman, especially. A lot of the stuff has changed. You can't even recognize like blue tip dock. Remember the bay with all the blue poles, the blue dock poles?
Yeah.
But they're not blue anymore.
They're gone.
Oh,
it's-
I mean the homes. I mean, they're buying $1 million homes, knocking them down, and putting up $5 million homes. I mean, it's unrecognizable from 20 years ago.
yeah, so like all that work, all the map work, all the notes, everything is completely irrelevant because nothing is there. Nothing is the same anymore. It's kind of cool. I can't stop saying it.
I saw that too.
Hey, so okay, so
Offer
okay,
a signature series dictaphone.
Yeah, seriously. All you gotta do is find cassettes for it.
yeah, the little mini cassettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're gonna go off topic here, for 1 second.
All right.
I love stories. I love good stories. Okay. I've had some shipping disasters in my day where a shipping company absconded with a bunch of lures that I got from a company that I was sponsored with a long time ago. They took the box. I never got it. Somebody signed for it. Stupid stuff like that. I have never heard this in my life. And if it wasn't, I laughed my ass off, even though it was a very big tragedy. Troy, you have to tell this story. You have to.
All right, Troy, the floor is yours.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So this story, the ironic part about this, and Frank doesn't even know this, but there's actually there's a fishing nexus to this story that I'll get at the end. But so this is almost exactly a year. And the reason this just came up is Frank had something happen literally like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it was a shipping thing. And he was kind of like, can you believe this? And I'm like, well, it's not like what happened to us last year. And then we just like laughed for like 5 solid minutes. So, so I'm in North Carolina, near Lake Norman, in a normal neighborhood. Our house is tucked back behind some trees, little, winding driveway that goes back to it. And so last year, I think I was out of town teaching or something, and my daughter's boyfriend came by the house to let our dogs out. And he sends us a group text, and he's like, hey, y'all got a big package on the porch. Do you guys want me to bring it in the house or whatever? And, whenever because obviously my wife gets stuff like literally every day. I'm just like, oh, okay, it was just something Michelle got. And well, she's like, well, everybody's like, no, we don't know what this is. And so he takes a picture of the box. And it's literally the size of like a college dorm fridge, like a little mini fridge. It's a big box. And so we're just like, no, just leave it there and we'll deal with it when we get home. So we get there, we get home, and the box is addressed to a VA medical center in the state of Virginia, and it's on our porch. And so my wife goes to sleuthing, like, what's going on? So we try to contact, I don't know that I want to call out the company.
No, just
the delivery company that delivered it. We could not get in touch with a real person to let them know, hey, there's a big giant package on our.
Was that UPS, Mark?
No, we had humans back then.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
We're not throwing any delivery companies under the bus.
Well,
Yeah.
Jeffries is 25 years with UPS, so.
Well, that is a very ironic twist to this story then. But anyway.
Uh-oh.
I did not know that. I should have
Yeah,
done
what
that.
did Brown do for you? I guess is the question.
Okay.
So anyway, we try to contact. We make a lot of efforts because we're like, this looks very important, and it was very heavy. It felt like it was foam encased, and so finally, my wife contacts the shipping. There was a name from the person who shipped it, and I forget the state that it came from. But anyway, there was a name there. So she finally gets in touch with this person, and she gets them on the phone, and she's like, hey, I think I may have a liver on my porch, trying to be funny. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? And she's like, yeah, we got this box and it's supposed to be delivered to like this hospital in Virginia. And he's like, what? Like obviously concerned, but she had his attention anyway. Fast forward, it was exactly that. It was a human organ that was on some medical preservation system.
They just left it?
Yeah.
They left. Well, listen,
What?
okay. So yes. So now he's like, after getting him to understand, okay, this is real. And he, of course he's like, well, did you open it? And we're like, well, there's nothing we would like more than to open it, but we didn't. And so, yeah. So they couldn't, so they tried to contact this unnamed acronym delivery service. They could not get in touch with anybody. Finally, they did contact them, and they said because they had already delivered it, they were not going to pick it up. So they had to find yet another company to come pick it up. They were not allowed to send it to its original destination because of the little side trip it took to us. So they had to go back to the original sender, and then happy ending, it got back there and everything was fine. But yeah, and he wouldn't confirm it, but when my wife was joking about a liver, he was like, yeah, you're not far. That pretty much that's what it was. So there was, we literally had a liver delivered to our porch, literally 400 miles away from where it was supposed to go.
That's scary.
So do
So
you think there was like a dude like recovering in a ice bath, some seedy hotel, going, "Oh my God, where's my liver?" Or was this like a legit liver?
yeah, apparently, well, we didn't go into the background
Logistic.
of it. So I don't know where the liver came from, but it was a legitimate bio company that sent it. So an interesting thing is, so we looked at our our Ring camera afterwards, and about 2 hours after that package was delivered,
This is just
the driver came back, walked up to the porch, looked at the box, clearly where the address is written, and then when they got back in his truck, brown in color, and left. So that was an interesting twist to it too. So here's where the fishing nexus comes in, which I did not know this until today when I was talking to my wife about it.
Suck 'em.
The company that sent it actually got in touch with somebody at the delivery company, and they went back and reviewed the video of, and I'm sure Mark is, there's like the conveyor belt and the barcodes and all this stuff.
yeah.
Well, my wife, who also is a very avid bass angler and tournament angler and so forth, she had made an order, and I wish I could say lure net, but she had made a tackle warehouse order. And the tackle warehouse box was a small box. And from the video that they reviewed, somehow a sticker barcode that was supposed to be on the small tackle warehouse box somehow got on the big
Liver.
liver box. And so that's how it happened. But it's
Hey,
like,
how much did they tell you that unit that was keeping the liver alive was worth?
oh yeah, they said it was worth tens of thousands of dollars. And he's like,
Shot.
we need to get a sound bite to go with that, something, so that whenever you pull that up, it's like dong, or like
How much, Troy? How much?
tens of thousands of dollars. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you could say what you want. I was a chick magnet back in the day.
Yeah, in his mind, he was amazing.
Hey,
It's a
what were the-
wild story.
What were the patches, Frank?
Oh, we've
on
already
that?
been through that. Hold on.
True turn is one.
And we're thinking it's either Hydromotive.
No, you know what? Was that Fish Formula? No, that wasn't Fish Formula.
Was that South Cleveland strip club that sponsored you for a while?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the second one was.
I mean, you were with Falcon Rods then? Was that Falcon Rods maybe?
No, that was not Falcon.
Big Al's Glitter Galore down there on East 5th Street.
Yeah, well, I think that what it could have been.
And the scary thing is, I have so many pictures.
That's what scares me.
Oh, that's not scary. That's exciting.
So
You know, we could do a whole line of photo shirts, Frank.
well, I heard that Frank said that he saw some people that had made some shirts from that first.
Yeah,
photo.
so I'll call him out on it. Frank nixed the
No.
over the shoulder mullet picture as being in the next Frank Scalish drop. He was like not feeling it.
Nope, not feeling nothing with my face on it. Not feeling it.
So that was an executive call by Frank, because I wanted to do an entire series of, you know, screen print picture shirts, like with the mullet look back over the shoulder.
The mullet,
This one
the
would have
mullet
been a
look
good-
is epic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good picture.
We had that for a while. We wore that for a while. I will just say, had the long hair going for a little while,
Well, just yeah.
and then
We
God,
lost Frankie.
and then God plays cruel tricks. He goes, "I gave you flowing locks, and now I shall take them away."
Oh my gosh.
He's back.
We have literally so many stories. It's stupid. We used to video. We used to put a tripod up in the video and video us fishing.
Yeah, we peaked. We kind of peaked with this stuff about 20 years too early. We were ahead of our time.
And so what we did, we had one video, and we don't have to mention the body of water, but we were crashing them. And Troy would come up here in October usually, and fish, and we were literally crashing them. So we got the video, and the coolest thing was we were going through it, and we had it in fast forward. And so the old VHS things, you could, you know, it's going, but it's like Benny Hill, you know, super fast, and casting, maneuvering, walking around the boat. I would, you know, bend over to pick up a different rod. Troy would be casting over my head. I would stand up. He would step to the side. I would cast, and it was like we never got in each other's way, and it was insane to watch. Fast forward wise, it was crazy. But because we've been fishing together, God, we were kids when we started fishing together, really. In my champion mean 15.
And that was like forever ago.
Yeah, 15 foot 8 inches with a 115 Evinrude on it.
Should have been illegal.
Yeah. Well, then I took that off and I put the 150 on it.
Yeah, that's what.
That was illegal.
What was it rated for?
Like a 90.
They changed. They
Allegedly.
changed the rating on them a year after I put the 150 on it, and it was dangerous, dude. I mean, that boat would get up on a feather of air, and you were in that zone where that thing was just almost going to do whatever it wanted. It was dangerous, man. But I sold it to a guy, poor guy, buys the boat in the dead of winter, pulls out of my driveway, and literally gets T-boned by another car.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, he didn't even pass my picture window in the house. He pulled out of my driveway. Some lady lost control of her car in the snow and pow, right into the side of the boat trailer. And so we dragged the boat trailer up the street there was a trailer place, ironically, at the end of my street. Drug the boat up there, had it fixed. So the sale of the boat went through. But anyway, so the first or second time he took it out, he hit a stump and knocked the motor off the transom.
Oh, he was not meant to have that boat.
Nobody was meant to have that boat.
Barely.
Not even me.
Boat had demons.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, say the least.
All right. There you go. Click on the link in the YouTube description. Is now live to join day for number 200 live. This is a StreamYard link. Make sure you have good internet service with your video and your audio engaged. If you would like to wish Frank a happy live 200th show, that is available right now. I'll see you down there below, and then we can add you into the show. So there you go.
Yeah, but man alive, it was a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff, man.
Yeah, and I'm going to add this just because, the 200th episode and everything. Some people might be like, oh, I can't believe it's taken the run it's had, and he's had the success he's had, and the rapport with you guys and everything. But I'm telling you, I mean, we talked a lot about this back before it happened and stuff, and literally, it's kind of like Frankie said, I had no doubt whatsoever what this was going to become. I mean, all Frank just needed was the platform, and you guys gave him the opportunity, and it's been amazing, and I don't see it slowing down. I mean, making new stories every day, and the experience, and I being an older guy, I kind of, I really appreciate the coming up back when we were using, shooting azimuths on maps and triangulating stuff out in the middle of the lake to what's happening now, with the electronics and everything. So yeah, it's amazing, and congratulations, and good. Keep it going.
Well,
thank you for the pictures, Troy, too. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
Keep them coming. You know what I think we need to do? We need to do a picture of the week. You think we can make that happen, Troy?
I don't think we can make it till the 300th episode, but we can try it. I have actually got, so Frank mentioned that. Frankie, when's your birthday? What
October
day?
1.
Okay, so Frank talked about me. I used to make an October trip up to Ohio just because we were on a couple of just stupid bites every October up there. So one year Frankie's born.
yeah.
That did happen.
Very inconvenient for us, but
Shocker.
It did not affect our trip at all.
No, in fact, the only thing it affected was my first marriage.
Wow.
That's the only thing it affected. Yeah, Frankie's born, and I'm like, hey, cool, we got a kid. That's awesome. Troy's coming in. We're gonna be fishing for a few days.
Oh my gosh! And we slaughtered them too.
Oh, we did. It was.
But
epic.
the reason I mentioned that is I've got a really epic picture of Frankie, as like basically an infant, and I was gonna send it, and I can't find it, but I'll find it and we'll get it out there. But it's appropriate because he's just picking up a new boat today because he's in a bass boat.
Yeah.
As like an infant. So I'll try to find that, and we'll give Frankie a little.
Is that the one? Is that the one at the islands where?
He's in the driver's seat of one of your champions. All kind of bummed.
Is that with the beer in his hand?
Good Lord.
No.
All right, we're stacking them up here.
It was an empty beer. It was empty. I did it for effect.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate it.
All right. Y'all
Thanks,
take care.
Troy.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Dude.
All right, let's bring in Josh.
Oh, God. Put a shirt on.
Hey,
Bomb.
What the hell's wrong with you, man? We don't have a shirt on.
I have a shirt on.
He has a tank
I don't
top
understand.
on.
Yeah, what's the big deal? It's Arizona. It's
I had
hot as
laughed
balls.
like that. I'd be wearing a tank top too.
Oh my God. You're definitely the milkman's kid.
You've been telling me that since I was like 10.
That's right.
Easy. I'm gonna have to smack someone.
No, I just wanted to say congratulations. Like, this is awesome. Lily and I are just sitting on the couch watching you guys, and I thought that it was kind of funny.
That's cool, man. I'm glad you pumped in.
Oh, yeah. Well, the dog wakes me up at 5:45 in the morning sharp every single time. So didn't have much of an option.
That's good, though. They let you know they need taken care of. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
You got your fly rod?
I did get my fly rod, and I'm taking it out today, actually, going to the Salt River.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Mhm.
sweet.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Try not to break this one.
I know. The last fly rod I had lasted about 5 casts. So
Josh, are you and Frank about the same age? Like, look at that. That is so shocking. That is you
Dude.
guys are the same age. Like, you could literally pull off young Frank.
well, what's crazy is we're sitting here and Lily, my girlfriend, looks at the photo, looks at me and goes, I can see it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh no, it covers it up, unfortunately. So,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny, man.
all right, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks.
No, I
Josh.
appreciate it, guys.
All right, see you, Josh. All right,
Later, bro.
I see some guys. Elson, let's bring in Kyle C, who looks like he's doing a little heavy machinery operating.
Kyle,
what's
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Let me shut this off. Give me a second.
You got it.
All right, what's up, fellas?
All right,
What do you
don't-
got, bro?
no incriminating information here, but as much as you're willing to share, it looks like you know how to fix things.
Yeah, if they break, hopefully I can fix them.
Well, I mean, there's people that you like call that you're like, hey man, like I got this, I can't get this on, this is stuck or this is broken. I don't know how to fix the lot. Like, you look like a guy who can fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I get lucky, you know.
They go, call Kyle. He can
Yeah.
fix anything.
Where are you from? What do you got?
From Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you guys on your 200 show and wanted to thank you for everything you guys have taught me. Matt, I sent you an email a little bit ago. I don't know if you can check it quick, but just a quick story. About 4 years ago, kind of back when Dave Ford just started, I'd sent Frank a Instagram message. Basically what happened, I ordered one of his custom lures, and LureNet accidentally sent me a couple of DD22s instead of the custom crank that I ordered. And so I ended up giving that, I took the hooks off it and gave it to my, at that time he wasn't quite 1 year old, but gave it to my kid as a rattle, right? And he absolutely loved it and carried it around for years. Still brings it to school now for show and tell from time to time. But yeah, I sent that picture to Frank and thanked him for all the education. I didn't grow up a fisherman, well, more of a salmon fisherman, but that's another, I just caught that the other day. But
Nice.
yeah. So just wanted to thank Frank and Matt for everything. Everything I've learned, it didn't come, nobody taught it to me. I learned it from you guys and just the time out on the water. So can't thank you guys enough, and congratulations on show number 200.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, every Thursday. There he is.
Oh man.
Dude, you need
Yeah.
to be throwing the DD22s.
Well, now that he's been shaking it for 4 years, it's probably ready to be thrown, right?
Oh, dude, it's perfect.
Does
All the
he
little-
does he like shaking it because it's the old butyrate plastic? Is that because it's got a deeper rattle in it than most?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
well,
Listen,
he likes to shake it because it makes noise. I mean, he was one in that picture, but you know, he started fishing with me, and that's my biggest thing is learning how to fish so I can put him on fish. You know, I fish small Thursday nighters, nothing big up here, but I just want to put him on fish, and it just brings joy to my face every time he catches one. So he loves it. He's hooked for sure.
All right, thank you,
get
Kyle.
That. I get that,
All right, cheers, guys.
dude.
Thank you, man. Have a
million,
good
man.
day.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go with Ryan Hartman.
My dude.
Right.
Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
What's up, man? Is that a secret space you're not supposed to be sharing?
Yeah, I'm definitely not supposed to be doing this, but you know,
Hey, you got to
You know
take
how it
your
goes.
chances.
Here we are. Here we are.
exactly. Hey, man, congrats on the show. You guys have been kicking butt for years, and I really enjoy it. And it's because of this that I know you and your son and cultivated some awesome friendships. So I'm glad that you did this. So
That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the show, I would have never met you. So
yeah, exactly.
that's really cool.
So I'm glad that you guys have received the success that you deserve for this. So
Thank you, man.
But-
And when you're ready to get your boat propped out, give me a shout.
yeah, hey, you know it's coming. It's
Okay.
gonna happen.
Let's
Yeah.
go. I got to do the same thing.
Yeah, we got to get that 211 smoking. So
It will. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Oh
running.
yeah, Junior's got to build a new boat out.
yeah, I can't wait for that too. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to see that thing fly.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
that'd
gonna
be a
cook.
fun-
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I'll let you drive in it with him for the first time.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, he's not scared.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not
it
scared
just
of speed. Let's go.
Looks like you're in a UPS warehouse mislabeling
Yeah,
things.
no, definitely. You know what's crazy is that I absolutely thought that he was going to say it was FedEx.
He
I
didn't.
could've
He did not disclose which
Well,
which company it
He
was.
did not.
Yeah, you're
disclose
right.
that.
You're right. Other than the brown truck, right?
Yeah,
Well, he's colorblind, so it could have been blue.
true story. Oh
Yeah.
boy, we gotta.
And Matt, I got to say thank you for bringing up the butyrate. That made me laugh so hard because I can honestly tell you that I've sent Junior so many texts of me shaking a Norman and just going butyrate. And
Oh,
gets me every time.
It's
Gets me every time. But y'all have a good day.
Thanks,
I love
Ryan.
y'all. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
my
Ryan.
man.
later, bro.
All right, let's go to Daniel with his chihuahua.
Daniel.
Is that a chihuahua?
Yeah, it was. You came in quick.
That is Daniel. What is the chihuahua's name? Please tell me it's Frank.
Hold on. It's a boy. Okay, let's clear this up right now. It's a boy. His name is Bambi.
Okay.
All right, we're good with that.
'Cause
Where are you
Bambi
from,
was
Daniel?
A boy in the movie.
Yes, he was.
Where are you calling from?
Seattle, Washington.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. Out on the
Yeah.
on the West Coast. What do you got?
Yeah, I had to call in sick to work just to make this show today. So
Oh, nice.
That is absolute, true, pure
had to do
dedication.
it. Had to do it. 200. I had to do it. So
I love it, man.
Bold move, Cotton.
yeah, I know. I definitely sent Frank a couple of DMs on Instagram regarding tips and stuff for the show. So super congrats, and it's good to have him around and giving us info every Thursday.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you too, man, for watching. Thank you. It means a lot.
Hey,
Right on.
Frank, I think we're due to give away a $50 card gift certificate too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. We got to send that to Daniel. The man's missing work right now.
There
He
you
came on with
go.
his dog. I'm a big dog guy. That's
There
a
you
heck of
go.
a call. He's missing the day of work.
All
Hey,
right.
shoot me an email, matt@bassone.com, Daniel, and then I'll send it to Frank. They'll give you a code and you can get $50 at LureNet.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Keep going, man.
All right. Thanks,
dude. Hey,
dude.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
send Matt your
Yep.
info. so I
Matt
can get it.
@bassone.com and we'll get that to you.
All right. I got you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Daniel. All right. This is terrifying.
Oh, this is
Yes.
Jesus.
You would. You would.
Jeffries,
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, if this was a Jeffries Ranch show, you would never have made the cut, drunk. You would have immediately been removed. But hey, he doesn't call the shots anymore. So.
He,
No.
he doesn't.
Mark's so upset right now. He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go scratch his
Oh
leg.
yeah, look at him! Look at him! He's-
It's the most skin Mark's seen in 3 weeks.
I will tell you what. I will tell you one thing. I've known Mark for over 17 years, and nipples have always made him nervous.
Oh my God.
I mean, you show that man. You want to Carolina rig the same spot. Just show him your nipples. He's leaving.
I want to take some time and congratulate Frank on number 200. A couple days ago, I was standing on the shores of Lake Erie while it was windy and rainy, and a single tear dropped from my eye and went into the lake because I knew that I wouldn't be able to fish with him. But thank you guys for doing this. Thanks for always posting my funny comments. And it's actually been a good time getting to know Frankie Jr. I actually spoke to Frankie Jr. this morning. And I guess Matt, when he responds to the text. 5 days later.
That's 50-50.
He's a busy man.
He is a busy man. Well, I'll let you get to the next one. I got stuff to do, and I am wearing pants. So just so you
Hey,
know.
I also want to point out, it's too late for Mother's Day. Any holiday that's coming up, get a jump start on Christmas. Drunkwood, your full-time, he did not tell me to do this. Your full-time job is you make unique custom gifts out of bourbon barrels. You're based out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Can I ask? I want to ask Mark one thing, cause see if he remembers me.
Hey, show of hands. Show him the stain all over your hands.
Yeah,
boy.
I was at working, man. Hey, I sent you a photo one time, Mark, and that photo was of my boat. It had a Black Widow on it. I don't know if you remember that because you were talking about Black Widow and bowling, and I have a huge Black Widow logo on my boat.
I do remember that.
All right, I'll send you some more pictures.
Hey, can I finish my plug for Drunkwood?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So if you're looking for it, Drunkwood supports the industry around. Good dude. I actually, if you come to my house, I have a cutout jumping bass with my house numbers on it that Drunkwood sent me as a housewarming gift a number of years ago. Where can people look at your stuff?
If you just Google, don't put on a safe image search, but Google Drunkwood and my Etsy will come right up. Because if you don't put that safe search, you don't know what you're going to get. But yeah, just look it up on Google and it'll come right up via Etsy.
All right. On that note, see you, Drunkwood.
Dude, peace out, man.
Later, bro.
All right. Next, so this is Minnesota Josh. He's the reason why we have like good signals and service on this. I've spent a lot of time on the phone with Josh, making sure things are dialed in. So thank you first and foremost, Josh.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know if I can beat Drunkwood with the no shirt.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a little bit more of a you're in a work capacity as well.
I'm at a work conference. There's a Cisco conference here in St. Paul, Minnesota right now. So I'm in between events right now.
Outstanding. So the no shirt would be a bad option for you.
Pretty much, yes.
It would be your last conference.
Right.
Yep.
You won't have to worry about going to another conference.
No. No, but I just wanted to get on here though quickly and just give you guys a congratulations. This is one of my favorite shows. I'm always listening and always watching every time it's on.
Well, thank you, and thanks for the help getting everything up and running. That's
no problem.
Josh was there the first time I learned what pull tabs were. Do you know what pull tabs are, Mark?
No.
I don't even know how to explain them. So
Mark, time to take a trip.
They're a little cardboard card, a little smaller than a baseball card, and there's 3 tabs on there, and you bend them over and flip them over, and it reveals whether you won or not. Usually it's $50. Sometimes it's $100. Sometimes it could be $200.
It's like bar gambling.
Yeah,
but it's like a big thing in Minnesota.
Okay.
It's like the biggest thing, actually. Like everybody plays plays pull tabs.
Pull tabs.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for the kind words, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.
I'll be calling you extremely
Adios,
frustrated at some point in the next 6 months.
I'm sure you will be, and I'll be here for you.
All right. Thanks,
dude.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Heck, we've been going for an hour and a half on this. So
yeah.
That's fun.
I think is it time to give away the $500?
Yes, it is. And I gotta add a $50 gift card to that.
Yeah, for Daniel. It was just the dog combo and the fact that he took
I know you
took
had
the day off work to get on with that. I know that we didn't talk about that. If it cost me the 50, I'll swing it. But
you $50,
I mean,
dude. Hey, you got
but you're still getting stuff. You're still getting stuff from LureNet based off of a gift card they give you. They should be sending you 100 of each item there. I'm just letting you know you can't. LureNet's not you got to earn your freebies from LureNet, Frank.
It's okay. I'll let the public have mine. They can. It's worth it.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, since I'm not as adept as Hellabass is at doing random drawing. So these are all comments on here. I'm scrolling up. You can see me scrolling. I'm not looking. There are hundreds of comments on here. And I think we're going to do Mark, give me a 10-second countdown, Mark, and whichever one I stop on is going to be the winner, as long as all four of us, Junior, Jeffries, Frank, and myself, agree that it is a reasonable comment. Fair?
I'm in. I'm here. I'm
Okay.
in.
So count down from 10, Mark.
All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It stopped on. Oh, is this set up? It stopped on Finding Adventure. Takes a man like Jeffries to introduce the tech of live streaming to brilliant minds.
Oh, bravo.
That is so
well
funny,
done.
man.
Finding Adventure. You have won the $500 gift card winning shopping spree at lurenet.com. Send me an email, matt@bassone.com with your contact info. I'll send it over to Frank. You could probably be shopping later today
or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Matt, I want to say this before you kick me out of here.
That is so funny.
There were a ton of memories, obviously, doing day 4. And I have in my hand something that is very, very, very special. And if it wouldn't have been for Frank, this would not have taken place.
Oh,
I got mine right here.
All right. And this is number 1, Frank.
Yeah, that's my original paint job.
That is the original, and it's sitting over on the trophy case. But you know, that kind of when you reflect back at what this show
That
has
kicked
become,
everything off.
Do what?
That's what kicked everything off. I mean, that was like the first.
I know. And the statement when I came back from my accident, the statement that Matt made about, oh, well, I didn't know if you were gonna, know anything. Hey, my favorite color is the number 7. And we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And then the trip that I took to Wichita, and I came back with the catfish floater.
Yeah.
That was orange, and I put the treble hooks on there, and man, Frank, you cracked up for about 30 minutes on that one.
I mean, do you know who the real heroes of this story are, guys? It is the well-educated group of high school kids who decided to do a Gatorade shower on a hardwood floor.
Oh my God.
I mean, without that brilliant, well thought out strategy,
none of this would be possible.
Jeffries doesn't Greg Louganis at center court. Doesn't end up with severe brain trauma. Doesn't make a full recovery.
I know.
And number 7 doesn't happen. So
the brilliance, the knowledge, the experience, and the friendship that it took for you to do this, Frank, because we never really thought it was going to turn into what it did. And one of the coolest things that happened as a result of this was when I showed up to the Classic at Grand Lake in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And there were people lined up out of the freaking booth to get these from you and have you sign those.
It was really cool.
It was amazing. So the friendship that you and I have, Frank, dude, we will continue to gripe and complain about these youngsters and and continue to keep doing what we love to do, man. And you're a special friend, and I'm so happy for you and Matt that this thing has made it to 200 shows, and you guys keep it going. Keep it going.
Thanks, Mark.
It will be, and thanks for the opportunity, because without the opportunity, none of this would have happened.
Yeah. Here's a question. Can we get a show? No, we cannot. Frank's already doing 7 colors a week. We're not going to add an 8th color on them. We'll bring in one more guest, Steve from Get Your Fish On. Thanks for jumping on, Steve.
Hey, how are you guys this morning?
Good.
What's up, Steve-O?
I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all that you guys have done for the industry. As someone who did a radio show beforehand, you guys were like pivotal on a lot of the stuff that I've done, and it's just amazing. And I wish you the most success and happy to see that you guys are at show 200.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, dude.
Means a lot.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's wonderful to see you guys keep pushing because we all go through that YouTube, crap.
Sometimes you call it, we got to record 2 this week, Frank. Crap. Okay, when do you want to do? Can we do it early? That's when I'm on the treadmill. Can we do it later? I'm going fishing.
Yeah, that's about it.
But thanks
Just
for the
keep
kind
pushing,
words,
guys, and thank you for everything.
Thanks,
we'll do.
man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Later, brother.
Yeah. Number 7's color number 200. That was a cool start. Anything else, Frankie? What do you have to say? I know that this has been an important show for you, and it seems like you have created a lot of friends of Day 4 listeners who now you hang out with, go fishing with, do business with, all sorts of stuff.
I literally traveled across this entire country last year to fish the U.S. Open because of a good buddy of mine now, Justin Welch, who I met through the show, along with one of my best friends, Ryan Hartman. I mean, the show's incredible on many levels, man. You and Mark, you started this thing, and Matt, you've been around for a long time, and what you guys have is special, man. And it's been an honor to be a part of this family, and it's been really awesome to watch you do your thing, Dad.
Thanks, bro.
Everywhere we've ever been together, you've always had this gravitational pull, and you always have this way to captivate people with your stories and your knowledge. And I just hope I can achieve half of that.
You will.
How it works. There's also another thing that we need to, and we do this every show. We just haven't done it yet. Hold on a second here. We need to thank LureNet and the guys over at Pradco for letting this happen, for going through, for giving us the codes, for allowing Frank to have some creative value. I know sometimes he has to call and say, well, we gave away more than we were supposed to, or, we did a show on this, or we maybe said a word we weren't supposed to. But it's been awesome to see the support of Pradco, of LureNet, the people over there behind the scenes, always working with it, and including Day 4 into their game plan, which I think they would probably be a little bit more nervous about it if they knew what our pre-production or lack thereof meetings were like.
I know. It's
I mean, it looks like a well-oiled machine, but
it's so true. I can't tell you how many times we'll get on before we go live, and Matt goes, "What do you got today?" And I'll be like, "I don't know."
Yeah. But that being said, there are some shows though where Frank will call and he will be like, here's what we're doing the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember some of my favorite are the series, and we'll continue with the series as we get onto it this year. But we had a vegetation series. We've had a bait fish series. Yeah. We've had a natural lake series. We've had a current. So like there's been a number of different things, and the knowledge and the skill that you put into it with the drawings, with the thoughtfulness, with being able to relate in an age of technology, how you've been able to implement technology without sacrificing the nuts and bolts, the foundation of why that works, I think is part of the magic as to why so many people kind of gravitate to what you say, Frank.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We'll do some deep dives. We'll definitely have some series coming up in the future. The deep dives are never going away because that's part of the show. Every show we do will have some tidbit of instructional format to it, and some will only be instructional format. We're not going to change the way we're doing things, but we are looking to spice things up in the future.
Also, Scott, who has the index of all 200 of the Day 4s. I'm not a Facebook guy, but I believe there's like a fans of BTL Facebook page that has like a bunch of information. Is there a bunch of information and messages and stuff on that, Frankie? My
Well, I
fiance
hopped
was
into it
on
the other
there,
day
and
to
she
ask-
was like, "Hey, like, you should probably like get involved with this." And I was like, "I'm on Facebook twice a year."
Well, the thing is the gentleman who made up who did the
The
Index.
list, Scott.
Scott who did the list.
Yeah.
His titles are great because I did a coaching session the other day, and I had to refer to number 55, 60, show 67 and 68, I think, and it was the blueback herring, gizzard shad, threadfin shad
Yep.
shows. And so those titles that he put on them made it so easy for me to find them. So we should somehow try to incorporate that into our list because, into the show list, because you could go right, like when we reference a show, you could go right to the show.
Mhm.
So it's really convenient. Super.
You would think the guys who do the show would have the list, but not the case. It's Scott.
That's Mark. I see the stang in the background, bro.
Yeah,
Nice.
it never gets out, man.
You gonna go take it out on a show 200 celebration lap?
No, it's raining.
Dude,
Yeah.
I like the big garage, man.
That's sweet.
I need one of those.
We haven't even mentioned I was on the phone with Frank when I like totaled my truck 2 days ago. Like on the phone with Frank, I literally just went, "Oh shit." And I said it just like that I hydroplaned into the median at 70 miles an hour.
So I'm talking to Matt. Everything's we're yucking it up. We're going through the thing. Everything's going good.
On the deal, hands free. I'm going below the speed limit.
I hear, oh shit, and all I hear is, and then, Frank, you still there? I go, dude, what the hell happened? He goes, I just hydroplaned and went off the road and hit a bunch of guardrails, and now I'm back on the road again.
Yeah, it was sketchy. I went careening across I-40 twice. But
that was wild.
Fortunately, there's some good people in the industry who help me out here. Some local, like Mike Myers, a great auto body shop here in Oklahoma City. So he's helping me get back on it, and it was the first like insurance claim things that I'd been through. I haven't really done anything like that since I totaled a Pontiac Grand Am in like 1990. 2000.
What were you, 12?
No, I was 18. I had a red Grand Am GT, and I was picking my buddy up to go fishing, and I was on his country road. I hit a gravel patch, launched it off of the ditch, and rolled it 6 times in a freshly plowed cornfield. Blew all the windows out. Slow-mo. I was young enough to where I was grounded at the time. I was 17, maybe I just turned 18. So my mom had taken my cell phone away from me for something I had done. So I had to walk to the nearest farmhouse, all covered in dirt, knock on the door, and literally the lady answered with a gun in her hands. And I was like, okay, like a half mile down there, my car's out in the middle of a cornfield. I don't have my stuff. And she brought the cordless and let me call 911. So
perfect.
Yeah, but anyway, that was the last time. I didn't even remember how I dealt with the insurance there. That's a good thing though, to go 25 years between incidents.
Yeah, it is. That's really a good thing. Trust me.
Yeah, I didn't total it. I just did a lot of damage to it from the front to the back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you were driving and none of the warning lights came on, and your truck was still steering straight. That's
I got very lucky, very fortunate.
The airbag didn't go off?
No.
I didn't ever really hit anything. Those things, like when I hit everything, it took, I've got those big barrel steps that folded over all of the metal deals.
Yeah,
Wow.
so your airbags deploy at rate of deacceleration.
Yeah.
And so since he was sliding, his speed never slowed down, and the objects that he was hitting
were giving
way, so the airbags never deployed. Had his airbags deployed,
I'm toast.
The truck would have been total, because the airbags are like, they could be anywhere from 35 to 5,000 a piece.
Yikes.
I mean, yeah, it was wild. Like my face during that whole experience.
Oh, I'm gonna kick Troy's ass when I see him.
You got anything else, Mark?
No, man. Dude, can't wait till next year.
We'll do it. And
Next year.
and hey, the conditions are going to be better. You're gonna have the best, the number one best day ever.
Yeah.
I hope,
right.
because it was pretty amazing.
We had very adverse conditions. Trust me.
I'm like I said, I mean, that's not the greatest recruiting event to go to, but that's not the ultimate objective to go to Cleveland. Okay.
You can't bring it back to bowling, damn it.
No.
This is a fishing show.
No.
But when you come back, because so we were fishing, long and short of it is we were fishing, and Mark's like, oh, hey, we got a, LeBron James, and hey, we got a Charles Barkley.
I'll be right
and I'm
back.
like,
Bloviate.
yeah, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And so the amount of fish we were catching, he was relating it to the basketball players' jersey numbers. So the goal was the goal was okay, when we hit 40, we're done for the day. And so of course we hit 40, and then we caught 2 more. So then it went to 45, and then it went to 50. And so literally, we had this spot in the morning that we blew over uncontrollably fast, because all I wanted to do is skirt down the side of this and go to a different place in this cove we were in. And we went down there and we caught like 3 or 4. And I told Mark, I said, we have to come back later to here because we didn't fish it right. And so towards the end of the day, Mark's like, are we going back there? And I go, yeah, before we leave, we're going back there. And so we went back there and absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah.
And we got our numbers up like that.
It was insane. We had to get to 50 because the Cavs won by almost.
They won by 47 or 48, and they needed, and what it was they needed to win by 50 to set the record.
Yeah.
And so that became our goal. We said, okay, we gotta set a record. So
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, last thing for me, once again, when I'm on here sparingly, I do want to reiterate what a lot of the fans have said. The way that you and Frank have carried things on, and the way that you have managed to keep this thing going and really separate this show, not only Day 4, but BTL, from what everybody else is doing, is why you guys are the leader when it comes to this kind of content. And it's quite obvious in the fan base that has been built over the number of years, but the Day 4 fan base, it's going to continue to grow because you guys are just so much better than what everybody else is putting out. So great job, guys.
Thanks, dude. It means
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Mark, and thank you for having the foresight to start this. Like I said, it was pretty cool, and we went through that whole story.
Yep.
I am actually,
Incredible.
Frank, just to make sure that it's done, I just sent you the contact info of Andrew, who is
Fishing Adventure.
Finding Adventure, who won.
Finding Adventure.
Yeah, I
and then-
just messaged you that. It's his emails. So, Mark, this might be and maybe not your question. All my emails to Frank get returned because I don't know why.
Like when
And
he
literally
sent me
it's like,
when he-
hey, yeah, it gets returned that Frank's host deems that this could be a salacious or harmful email or something, and then boom, it gets kicked back. We tried everything.
Yeah, and his is the only one.
Yeah, it's weird.
Let me ponder that one.
Yeah, ponder that. And here,
Okay.
the truth of the matter is I don't have them blocked.
I can confirm. I did check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let
I
me
don't know.
ponder that one.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a good one.
All right, man. All right.
Dude, peace.
All right. What
Boys.
else you got, Frankie, before we do it? So I have a guess what I'm doing in half an hour. I'm recording with the Mountain Duo.
Outstanding,
What?
dude.
And I'm doing a review
A taste test.
on a new Mountain Dew flavor.
And
That's
you haven't
awesome.
had it. You haven't had it
Get
yet,
out of
right?
here.
They mailed me the cans of it, 2 cans.
And they're hermetically sealed.
I mean, they're not open. If that's your question, that's the way to say that fancily.
Yes, it is fancily.
You got
Oh,
anything else,
anyway.
Junior?
Just got to go break this in, and then today
you're
and
at the
practice
lake.
today. And I got to break this in today. I got to get through at least the first 2 hours so I can at least run around tomorrow. I have to practice tonight and then be at a banquet tonight for another benefit tournament tomorrow morning.
All right,
All
we'll
right.
get that thing broken in. Thanks,
We're
Frankie.
gonna go. Dad, I love you. Matt, I'll talk to you.
Peace
See ya.
out, bro.
Peace.
All right, well, there we go.
Matt,
I thought that turned out pretty good.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for everything.
I just
I
hit
have to
buttons
say
over
that.
here.
What's that? Too many
I said I
buttons.
just push buttons over here.
Hey, nah, dude. You keep everything moving. You keep it all smooth and moving. And I appreciate it. I wish we had the opportunity to fish way more than we do, to be honest with you.
We'll make it happen. I like the times we do get in the boat together. We've had some great fishing days. So
Yeah,
I think it's my
always
turn
fun.
to get up there and catch some of the big giant smallies this year.
Yeah, we'll catch something.
I feel like you might have said that exact statement back in that age.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I'm gonna have to punch Troy in the head when I see him.
I won't do that every show. Maybe it'll be a different photo every show. Who knows?
That's so funny though.
I mean, at least they're not embarrassing photos. The one with the mullet, you look like a badass, and this one, you look like you're about to
Young.
star in a Thursday night sitcom.
Yeah.
Featuring Frank Scalish, like you're the uncle that always comes over,
Yeah.
like gives the kids live birds or like gerbils for pets and stuff. Where the family's like, "Come on, Uncle Frank."
No more animals.
Yeah,
That's funny. Oh my
So-
gosh. Yeah. So now, man, we start 201. What are we gonna do? I gotta think.
201. It's will be a recorded show next week. You're gonna be out of town. We're gonna record it actually tomorrow to run next Thursday.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
yeah. That's right, dude. I
Yeah.
gotta make some phone calls for that one.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll let you make phone calls. So
either way, Matt, we're on. Oh shoot. I'll talk to you when we get off.
sounds good.
All right.
All right, this has been another edition of BTL Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish, a very special 200th episode. Same place, same time next week, as we are only 99 shows away from show number 300. See ya.
See ya, man.